would be enough of a deterrent for me to not want to go, because once you're on the flight for however many hours it is, getting to the airport sucks. It's almost like if you ever get off the plane and have to do like a long drive after you get off the plane, where it's like a whole other trip after a trip. It drives me out of my mind. With that, I would almost go, fuck Mexico. I'm going to go to Miami and just rent a beach house and pretend I'm in Mexico.
No, Mexico was an amazing experience, but still we're at immigration. Then a group of lads came over and we all want to get through. And they just fucking push in. They just blatantly push in, right? And they're in like the early 20s. They've got beards. They all think they're badass. And I'm like, no. Yeah, basically, yeah. Slightly bigger, better looking, less smelly, taller, by far more intelligent. But still, they just swan up to near the front, and it's just surrounded by it's a bunch of families and people with kids and stuff. And I'm like, no. I'm like, you lot might stand around, but not the cloth that I'm cut from. So I go, but hey, boys, no. I'm sorry. I said, I know. Listen, we all want to get through in time. I get it. I said, but you ain't pushing in front of me, pal. So, I pushed in front of them. It actually worked out very well. I skipped about 40 people. But still, we go through immigration. And of course, because it took a while, the suitcases have been there for a while. And before we left, Ellie said, I'm going to take my laptop in my backpack. I said, you don't need to do that. I said, just put it in the suitcase. She said, no, it'll get stolen. I said, Ellie, listen to your dad. Your dad flies international all the time for the last 15 years, all over the world. I always put my laptop in my suitcase under a few bits of clothing. It's always good. She's like, you sure? I'm like, yeah. She got it for Christmas. She loves it. It's a nice pink metallic laptop. Apple loves it. I'm like, it'll be fine. She said, Dad, I don't think it will. I said, it'll be fine. We get to the hotel room. We unpack. She wants her laptop. No fucking laptop. No. Stolen.
So the airport personnel stole it.
No, yeah, probably the airport personnel. Somebody, they're like, those bags have been there for a while. Just have a little look and just unzip it, stick a little hand in. Oh, look at that. Something cold, flat, warm. Sorry, cold and flat and hard, metallic. What could it be? It's a laptop.
Right.
Motherfuckers.
That's crazy. Yeah, I've never even been slightly concerned with something being stolen from my luggage. You know how they say, like, don't leave your luggage in the airport, and if you see something, say something, like report it? I leave my luggage at the gate every time I fly. Every time I fly. I don't have any locks. I don't have anything on it. Who the fuck would steal luggage? Who would go into somebody's stuff? That's crazy in an airport.
I know. It is crazy. And then what's even crazier or even more infuriating, well, first of all, it's not covered by insurance, because when we got back, we tried to call the airline, because nobody wants to give up a day of their time calling the airline. We've got 7 days. I'm not going to call and say, hey, go through this whole thing. We'll do it when we get back. You know what I mean? When we called, we got back. They're like, oh, no. You have 7 days from when you flew to make the claim. So we missed the claim by 1 day.
No.
Yeah. Then they say, it's okay. You can claim it on your house insurance. I thought, okay, that's good. But there's a deductible of $2,500.
Laptop.
Which is more than the laptop. I'm like, you motherfuckers. I'm like, whatever. We're on holiday. So we're having a great time.
But why is she, let me ask you a question, just side note before you move on. Why is she even bringing a laptop on vacation?
Because she's done multiple acting courses, and she's doing an online acting course. She loves it. She's very, very passionate about it. So we get there. She had an acting class the next day. I said, it's okay, Ellie, just use mine. When we get back, we'll get you a new laptop. So anyway, she logs out of my email, and then she logs into hers. And we go out on a boat. It was on my Instagram. We were on a little speedboat, me and Lucas. And I'm filming on my phone. And Lucas is actually saying on the video, I will have no empathy for you if your phone gets destroyed. And I'm like, shut up, you little shit. It's not going to get destroyed. Number one, they're waterproof. Secondly, I've got an OtterBox case on. It's going to be fine. But another boat came by, and a little splash of water came on, got me wet, got the phone wet. Look, give it a wipe. All good. Slowly but surely, the phone started dying on me. Okay, started being distorted. When I touched the screen, it kind of vibrates a little. Anyway, long story short, it dies. It packs in. So I'm like, motherfucker, it's okay. I've got Apple Care Plus. It's insured. I can log into my email. I can log into my social media and all that stuff and do it through.
If you need to text, you can do it from your laptop. Honestly.
I can do it from the laptop.
Doesn't matter.
No. No, you can't, because I've got two-factor authentication turned on. So they send a text to my phone, because my daughter logged me out of my email. When I tried to log back in, it sends a text to my phone, which won't turn on. Same with social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everything. So I was locked out. I was a prisoner. I was locked out of everything for a week.
A prisoner on a 5-star beach resort with your beautiful family.
Yeah, it was traumatizing. I am traumatized. No. So yes, it was weird because whilst it was very nice because you do depend on social media and email and all that stuff. It was great to be completely off the grid for once, you know what I mean? But also at the same time, I was kind of concerned because I'm like, I guarantee there's all kinds of people emailing and shooting me text messages and like, this asshole is just not responding. You know what I mean? So I got back, I had a lot of abusive emails and texts, but it was good. We enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've had that happen before too. I was on a cruise once, and this is before they had Wi-Fi on cruise. This is maybe like 8 years ago, where it was like really shitty Wi-Fi. So my phone was useless on this cruise. Like you couldn't get any social media, couldn't get anything, and it was 5 full days of being off the grid. And it was at first you're stressed out. You're like, oh, dude, I don't have my phone. I can't like. look up facts. I can't do math quickly. I can't like figure out a bill. But once you sort of let go to it, it is such a freeing it's like you're really in the moment with your friends. You're really in the moment with people around you. You're not looking for something in this digital world, which is just vast and open. And there's so much going on in the digital world. And you start to appreciate the little things that are right in front of you. And honestly, it's great. There should be like a fucking holiday where we all put our phones down. There should be like a 1 or 2 day, a weekend for a year where everyone in the world puts their phone down. We should start it. It should be a Believe You Me holiday.
Believe You Me holiday.
Yeah.
But you're right. I totally agree. You know, we do depend on our phones too much. I mean, can you remember back in the day, you know, before mobile phones or cell phones, as you guys say, like when I was a kid, I'd meet my friends. I'd say, right, I'll meet you on the park bench at 6:30. I'll see you there. And you better just fucking hope they showed up at 6:30. And if they didn't show up, what are you going to do? You had to sit there and wait and wait. It comes 7:30, you're still sitting there like a fucking asshole because they might show up in a minute. And then you get home, you call and say, what are you doing? Oh, something happened. You know, how did people meet back then? It was crazy.
Well, did you watch the Woodstock documentary, the Woodstock 99 one on HBO Max?
I didn't know.
So good. Go watch it because you're my age group, so you'll get into it because it'll bring you back to that time where it was like just pure craziness. But
Woodstock in the 60s? Jesus,
No. 99.
Oh, okay.
So one of the things in the documentary, they were talking about how nobody really had cell phones in 1999. I did. I had a little shitty faceplate cell phone in high school, but that was rare for like young people, to be honest. And
well, you were selling drugs, so of course you needed it as part of your enterprise.
Of course. Yeah. I had a beeper cell phone. Yeah.
6.5 hours later.
So, yeah, guys, full disclosure, I apologize. I'm having an issue with the video on my end. So
really, you're not streaming from the 1980s and you're all pixelated? That's not actually how you look right now?
No. So they're going to put an image of me up whenever if it gets too bad. So we do apologize. Yeah, the streaming speed at the studio with so much going on here, we're not getting good upload speeds here. So moving forward, starting Monday, everything will be back to normal, everyone. We do apologize, but yeah, whatever. Moving on. Anyway, I was saying that, back in the day, you literally lose your friends. You're at a concert and they don't have a phone. That's that. Like, what do you do? Like, you just wait in the parking lot hoping to run into them at one point, and that's truly it.
Yeah, but sometimes if your friend's Harrington, though, that could work out. You know what I mean? Oh, sorry, buddy. I lost you. Well, you didn't have a phone. I was going to say lost your number. You didn't have a phone. Sorry, buddy. I'll see you next week. But anyway, I didn't see the documentary. Mexico was great. People were lovely. What else? Oh, let me ask you, what is the most scared you've ever been with James? What is the activity that you've done with James where you were the most scared? Because I did it in Mexico and I was fucking terrified.
I would say it wasn't an activity. I mean, if it's an activity, I would say just that skywalk in the mall that we did recently. That was hard. I couldn't even look at him. It was crazy. But the most I've ever been scared in my life was when he was like 3. He fell down the stairs at his mom's place, and my sister-in-law called me, and all she said was, "James fell down the stairs. We got to call 911." And I mean, I just thought he was dead. I thought his head was split open. He had a little fat lip. That was it. I was running. I was crying. And I'm fat, so I can't run fast. So I was running from my place to their place. At one point, I had to stop running because I was too tired and walk.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a medical emergency. Well, a non-medical emergency, as it were. But that's not necessarily what I'm talking about. Obviously, anything like that's always scary, of course. No, we went scuba diving. Right? I've never been scuba diving before. I'm 42 years old, first time. I'm sure it's a fucking great time. Lucas is 11. He apparently in Mexico, that's old enough. So first of all, we have this little,
see you later.
There's me and a French couple. They said, I said, is there going to be tons of people on the trip? I don't like it if there's tons of people. They went, no. It's just you two and a French couple, just 4 of you. Oh, fantastic. So we go in this special pool that they have at the hotel, super, super deep. And this guy, very nice guy, Fernando, he gives us the whole, very calm, very patient, talks us through it, everything, safety first. Oh, pardon me. Safety first, all the rest of it, right? The guy couldn't have been a better instructor. I was like, oh, this is great. This is awesome. This is going fantastic. We finished that, but then when we go out on the boat, we've got a 2-hour window. Rebecca and Ellie, they're at the spa. So me and Lucas, we go get some lunch. We sit there, we're talking. Then we walk over to like the marina. We wait for another hour there, right? Then we get on a boat with a bunch of people. The boat's packed. Scuba divers galore. Scuba divers are us, right? We go out then for another hour, way out into the ocean. So since the little lesson, it's been like almost 4 hours now. Do you know what I mean?
Lucas has forgotten everything.
No, so I'm going on the boat. I'm going, okay, so what do we do about this? And I'm checking things for him, whatever. And then when we get to the part, it's amazing in the ocean. The water, as I say again, it was like nothing I've ever seen. But still, everyone starts queuing up. And when you get to the front, you put your flippers on, off you pop. You put your backpack on with your oxygen tank and all the equipment and whatnot. And yeah, in you go, right? But Lucas is so excited. He goes off ahead of me. And he's like, there's 2 lines. And he's like, on the other line, like 3 people ahead, and I'm trying to get to the front, and all of a sudden I just see my son put the flippers on, and they throw him in. Right? I'm like, whoa, hold on, that's my son, because he's 11 years old. He doesn't understand the consequences if things go wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway, I get in the water. And I look down, I put my head on and I'm like, whoa. This is not the swimming pool. There's schools of fish everywhere. It is deep as hell. But the visibility was like 100 feet. It was insane. You could see people on the ocean floor. I'm like, whoa.
You see a shark pulling Lucas.
Yeah, I'm like, this is not the pool. So there was a rope. You go along this rope, and then you grab another rope, and you pull yourself down, and down at the bottom on the ocean floor, there's like a square metal rod. People hold on to, and then they tell you which way to start swimming, whatever. Lucas is going down the ocean. I'm like, so I'm swimming down to him. I get hold of it. I'm like, up. We gotta go up. So anyway, Lucas is like, what is this guy's problem? It's because I want to explain to him, listen, the safety procedure in case something goes wrong at the bottom of the ocean. There is not much of a margin for error.
To be fair for you as well, devil's avocado.
Yes.
He should probably go with you.
I told him.
An 11-year-old going off by himself. Number 1 rule.
But my number 1 rule was you always stay on my left side, because on my right side I can't see a fucking thing. On the left side there, you stay level with me. Maybe hold my hand so I know you're safe. And anyway, so I say, let's go back up. So we pull back up the rope, and when we get to the top, the instructor there, he was a dickhead. He starts screaming at me, "Hey man, what are you doing? We got many people. They're coming down.
Not Fernando.
This is not Fernando. Fernando was not there. He was just at the pool. He was calm.
Fernando would have been super cool with you.
Fernando was awesome. Fuck this guy though. Right? He starts screaming, "Hey man, what are you doing? We got
His
more
name
people."
also might have been Fernando, to be fair.
Might have been. I'm gonna say Manuel. Okay, Manuel's going on at me. He's like, "Hey man, what are you doing?" He's giving me a ton of shit, and I go, "Whoa, first of all, why are you shouting? No need to shout." I said, "I'm just trying to explain to my son, if something goes wrong at the bottom of the ocean," and then he just starts talking over me again. I couldn't get my point through. I'm like, "Sir, listen, again, I don't know why you're shouting, okay?" And Lucas is looking really concerned because he's so excited to do this. He just wants to go down there. And this Manuel guy.
This could go with, and you're just like me. He knows. Lucas is watching this going, this could go down to where we're not scuba diving. My dad could get us to a place where we're kicked off the strip.
And Manuel is also an alpha male, and he's kicking off, and I could see him say, "You know what? If you're not going to listen to me, then you get out the water, you get on the boat." And I'm like, sir, and I'm trying so nice. I'm trying to be nice. I'm keeping my calm. I'm like, "Sir, why are you shouting? I just want to explain to my son. If anything goes," he's like, "You got to make a decision. You want to go down or you want to stay?" I'm like, look at Lucas, and Lucas is like,
inspire us all.
All I wanted to say was, there's a thing here. If you push this and hold it, your life jacket inflates, and you're going to fly up to the top. Granted, you're going to burst your eardrums because you're going to come up slow, but I will take burst eardrums over calling Rebecca at the spa and say, "Hey, how's your massage?" Great. Little snafu. Lucas is dead. Yeah, he's at the bottom of the ocean being feasted on by sharks right now.
If Lucas, to be fair, if Lucas got eaten by sharks, you're not coming home. Like, you're starting a new life with the Bispings. You're moving back to China.
I'm off. I'm not going on. So anyway, I said to him, I've got no choice. Put mouthpiece in, and we go down in the ocean, okay? And the little shit, I told him, not only am I blind in one side, he's just going off, he's doing his own thing, and I keep trying to catch him. But he said to us, the slower you breathe, the slower you're going to go through your oxygen. You know what I mean? You got to keep it nice and calm, right? Yeah. But they're not there with their 11-year-old son who's not listening to a fucking word and swimming off with Manuel. Do you know what I mean? So I'm trying to catch him, and everyone's looking at me. And like, for most people, it's just, just a little stream of bubbles. You know what I mean? Me, I looked like if you took a giant bottle of Coke, smashed it on the floor, and then took the lid off. That's what I look like. Bubbles going fucking everywhere. I'm swimming like a maniac, and it was like all the other people, clients, are going, calm down. I'm like, calm fucking down. My son's over there. But anyway, if it's just 10 feet, it takes a while to swim through the. Imagine if his mouthpiece came out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and then he sucks in water. Next minute he's choking on water. Do you know what I mean? Like, granted, I should have given him more credit. He's a calm kid. He knows what he's doing. He
And
wasn't
also, what are
scared.
you gonna do?
Give him my fucking mouthpiece, like they do in the James Bond movies. We'll do
Okay.
that. We'll
Until
flutter
you get
up
to
to
the
the
top.
top.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That'll stay fucking near me. But I'm telling you, oh God, what a stressful event. When we got out, all the other people are like, man, did you see that giant lobster? Did you see that such and such? I'm like, no, I didn't see a fucking thing. I was watching my 11-year-old
Your
kid and I was
actions
terrified.
inspire us
I gotta be
all.
honest with you,
The
Michael.
Helios will
That is
win
one
this
of the most
conflict.
endearing stories ever. You're not even realizing how sweet it is that you couldn't enjoy scuba diving because you were too worried about something bad happening to your son.
Well, think
That's
about
great,
it.
dude. You're a good father. I
No,
get it
no,
completely.
but 11-year-olds, they don't you know, he was completely fearless, and you are when you're a kid, but he doesn't
course.
really realize. And now, granted, to be fair, as long as you keep that thing inside your mouth, nothing is going to go wrong. Oh, apart from the fact, Manuel and his buddies and his crew, they hadn't strapped the oxygen tank on. This was another thing. As he's swimming along, enjoying and looking at fish, if this is him, his oxygen tank just started floating off. It came loose. I'm like, ah! So then they went up to him. They strapped it back on. Then it happened again. Oh, man, it was very, very stressful. But still, Mexico. I actually can't wait to go back. We had
That's awesome.
an amazing time.
You've just convinced me that I'm not going scuba diving with my child until he's at least 14 years old, though.
Yeah, it's a slight issue.
Hey, Mike, let's take a quick moment and thank RockAuto.com for supporting today's show. RockAuto.com is the best website on the planet to find the best prices on auto parts. Mike, you're not an auto guy. You're not doing your own work on your car. That's not me either. But I'll tell you right now, when you go into an auto body shop, who knows what prices they're charging you? Who knows how much they're marking things up? Honestly, you have to protect yourself.
Yeah, listen, at the end of the day, you know, there's a lot of honest people out there, so we can't lump everyone in there. But there also is a lot of cowboys and a lot of people that are going to mark things up and try and take advantage of your lack of knowledge in this situation. Of course, you are correct, Lewis. I don't know my way around an engine, but fortunately, Rock Auto is there to help. They've been in business for 20 years and they make it easy to find the parts that you need, as I said, at the best possible prices. So no more talking to counter guys. You need to order your parts. You aren't really sure what you're looking for and never have quite what you need. And then all the hassle that you go through, and then they're still going to charge you storefront markups. At rockauto.com, you can easily find everything you need, whether you're a mechanic, an auto shop, or working on your own car. Everyone has access to the same incredible pricing at rockauto.com. Think about what I just said. Whether you're a garage that services the public or you're a member of the public, you're still going to get it at the same price. Think about that. That's a fantastic deal. So once more, please, if you're tinkering on an engine this weekend, you need a new, you need a new fan, you need a new alternator, you need something for the engine. Go to rockauto.com. No promo code needed, though, as our pricing is already that good. And when you order, make sure to tell rockauto.com that you heard about them here on the Believe You Me podcast. Please, rockauto.com. All right, where were we? Now, we were talking before about things getting stolen, and this kind of segues in. Jordan Williams, UFC fighter, he had his car stolen. We actually have some video, Brian, if you want to play it. But Jordan Williams, isn't that who... your boy, what's it called?
Mickey just knocked out.
Yeah, Mickey just beat him, yeah. Choked him out, didn't he?
Choked him out, yeah.
Yeah. So, here we are. Drags him out of the car. We could have played it from the start. We don't really see all of it, but still. At the start of the video, he just walks out and then, yeah. Anyway,
Guy gets in his car.
I mean, did he leave the keys in the car? I mean, I'll be honest, if you're going to leave your keys in the car, Jordan, what are you asking for?
I do that all the time.
You leave your key in the car?
I have no fear that somebody's going to steal my car. It's crazy to me that somebody would do this. They just get in the car and dip off.
Cars, look, there he is, jumps in.
I feel like they're so easy to track. It's like I like my cell phone. I'm never afraid of somebody stealing my cell phone because you could track it so easily that I feel like who the fuck would
Lewis, I hate to break this to you, but there he is, grabs him, little tie clinch, little knee, drags him out. Well done, Jordan, saved your car. Note to self, don't leave your keys in the car. Note to Lewis, cars get stolen every single day. Many cars. All you got to do is, because you got an Audi, it's a newish car, you know, the little key fob? You know those things at the front of your jeans? They're pockets.
No.
You put the key in the pocket. You sit in the car, you push the start button. Then when you get out the car can no longer be stolen. It's kind of a foolproof system. It's very complicated, I know, but still, give it a try.
All right, look, I'm a shady character. I'm not. Look, a couple decisions a few years ago. I'm a few decisions away from being a car thief, right?
There's no honor amongst thieves. They will steal your car. They'll look at you. Listen, we know. They look at you. Said the Puerto Rican rattlesnake. There he is. He's one of us. He's shady. He's a slime ball. He's a scumbag. We could go on all day, right? But they will still take your car.
I'm thinking if you steal a car, if I steal a car, that car is so easily trackable that there's a cop on me within minutes. I don't even know. I have no idea if there's even a tracking device in my car. I've never even thought about it.
Most of the time, they're not going to give a damn. You're going to be stranded with little James, right? It's going to be a hot day. You know, you're in Vegas, perhaps. You've driven down to Vegas or somewhere very hot. It's a very, very hot day in New York. You get out for a little refreshment because you can't take it. It's so hot. You get out, you leave your key in the car because you're an honest citizen. Maybe you're not, but that's what you claim to be. Someone steals your car, you're trapped. Okay, you call the cops. Someone stole my car. Say, yes, sir. What was the circumstances? I left my keys in the car. Well,
Officer Bisping answers. He's like, what,
they'll be like, well, unlucky Kentucky, right? Because you call your insurance company, you're gonna have a problem claiming that back as well. Because who knows? Maybe that was a setup. Maybe you wanted your car stolen, Lewis. I would not leave your keys in the car.
I'm learning something new every day. Apparently, people are still stealing cars out there. I thought that was like an old, antiquated thing. Like nobody was doing that anymore.
Have you not seen Gone in 60 Seconds? From 2002 or whenever that movie came out. No, people still steal cars.
Yeah.
You are right. They are harder to steal these days. But come on, man. If you leave the key in the car, it is not hard. You're very, very easy. You're asking for it.
Good for you, Jordan Williams, for defending yourself and getting it back. Would you defend? If so, would you run out and grab them and drag them out of your car? Because you don't know what they have. You don't know if they have a gun. It is just a car at that point. But I think adrenaline kicks in, and any man, almost any dude in the world would immediately go and run and grab the car and be like, no.
If you even step foot in my car, I don't care if you're stealing it, driving it, starting it, or whatever, I'm going to drag you out of that car. Yes, 100%.
You're going to do worse than Jordan Williams did.
No, I'm not necessarily, but I'm going to grab you and I'm going to throw you out of the car. I'm going to throw you to the floor. Centurion, throw him to the floor. A little Monty Python reference there. Anyway,
Real quick, just as it relates, do you remember there was that story, and it's actually a sad story. It's not a super funny story at all. There's nothing funny actually about it, but there was the two girls. They were like teenagers. They were like 16 years old, and they went to go steal an Uber driver's car, right? And then the driver grabbed onto the door, and like they took off while he was holding onto the car, and they ended up getting into an accident. The Uber driver died, right?
Oh.
This is a pretty big story. Maybe a year ago it was.
Yeah, no, I vaguely remember it, but go on.
But people are like, well, why did he hold on to the car? What an idiot. Like, why would he do that? And I think just that moment, adrenaline kicks in and somebody's trying to take your property and you grab it. You're like, no, this is fucking mine. I'm not letting go of like my thing. And it just, you know, ended with such an unfortunate thing. But I think that instinct would kick in with almost anybody, even though this person could have a gun, a knife, whatever it is. But to go and run over there, you don't have anything in your hands. You're just like, give me my car back. But I'm glad it didn't end worse for Jordan Williams.
No. That story reminds me, where I grew up in Clitheroe, there was a little toy shop called Cowgills, magazine shop, paper shop, and toy shop. And I used to go in there all the time, like with my mates, like try and steal a candy bar or whatever when we were like 9 or 10 years old. And the owner's son, he was a little bit, you know, he was a weird guy. He was a very, very weird guy with very, very weird energy, very nerdy, but he was a very nice guy, but he was weird. There was something off with him. He was a little special. I don't know. He wasn't like, you know, he didn't have any disabilities or anything. That's not what I'm saying. But he was just a very unusual energy to this guy. And he talks weird as well. And anyway, not that crime ever happened very much.
He was Chinese. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Listen, No, somebody ran in and did like, I don't know if it was an armed robbery, but they robbed all the money from the store. They basically robbed the store. And they jumped in the car and drove off. And this is a guy, to your point, that's just a nerdy guy. And it was on the front page of the local newspaper. He runs out and he dives on the bonnet of the car. What do you call it? The hood? He dives on the hood of the car. I don't know how much they got from the toy shop, probably about £50, £100 stops. But the car was speeding up and he's on the top like a bloody superhero. I always thought that was pretty cool. I looked at him in a different light from then. I'm like, you know what? You're all right. I like you.
You're not that weird, actually.
We've all been there. Okay, getting into some of these notes. Obviously the Olympics was just around last week. I think it's finished now. Did you watch any? I'll be honest, I didn't.
Nothing.
No.
I don't think I watched one event. I watched like some highlights that I couldn't avoid on my timeline of like gymnastics chicks doing crazy shit.
I watched some of the horse riding, some of the equestrian stuff, because Beck was watching that. And on the one time we did watch it, a horse got put down. Very, very cruel. Very cruel. Yeah, man, did it hurt itself on a jump? Let's put the horse down. Still,
on TV?
Well, not on TV, but there was a big bloody...
They're really trying to get those ratings in.
There was a tent over the wounded horse, and then it later came out the horse was dead. But anyway, one of the events, as we know, is wrestling, and an American called Gabe Stevens came away with the gold medal. So congratulations to that man, and he's been making the headlines recently, talking about potentially coming over to the UFC or coming over to mixed martial arts, and he claims that he could win the UFC championship, become champion of the world in less than 2 years.
Well, that's not actually that crazy when you really consider it, right? Like Brock Lesnar came and won the UFC championship, I think, in 3 fights. He didn't really fight anybody before he got to the UFC. He fought Hongman Choi, and then who was the other one that he fought? I'm sure Harrington knows offhand.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but still. But
look, it's still to this day, unquestionably, and I think you would agree with this, it is still probably the most important facet of being a mixed martial artist is having great wrestling, right? You could dictate where the fight goes, whether your strength is on the ground or it's standing up, or you can play into that person's weaknesses. I think that it's the controlling factor of the fight, and I think if you have that good of wrestling, and he's an Olympic level gold medalist, I think that skill set out of everything lends itself most to being able to become a UFC champion. And if anybody can do it in a short amount of time, it's going to be an Olympic caliber wrestler.
Yes, I don't necessarily disagree with what you said. You know, wrestling is majorly important. It really is, although not absolutely essential. But I don't think it's the best quality. And when I say quality, I don't mean style of fighting. I don't mean jiu-jitsu. I don't mean wrestling or striking or any of that. The most important quality is to have a fighter's heart and the ability to take a shot and the ability to go out there and stand in the pocket and throw down and all the rest of it. And if you're going through a tough time, to be able to rebound and get back to your feet and put that rough round behind you, then go out in the second round. Can he do that? Has he got that ability? Maybe he has, but I honestly believe he's getting a little bit ahead of himself. When he hasn't had a single fight, he probably hasn't thrown a single punch in his life. Maybe he has. Maybe he's had a few bar fights. Maybe he's a scrappy kid. No doubt he is. You know, these wrestlers have insane competitive drive. You know, to get to that level, I can only imagine the kind of workouts that he had, and you know, the skill that he has, and the strength, and all the rest of it. And if you're going to succeed in a sport like that, then there's no reason why he couldn't cross that over. However, it's and God bless him. I get it. You're making headlines. We're talking about it, and that's what you want to do. You know, he's going to come over with a ton of hype, because you always see that in boxing. Anytime somebody goes to the Olympics and they become, and of course they're the exact same sport, but if you become an Olympic gold medalist, you're pretty much guaranteed to have a really successful professional career. You know, Mike Tyson, Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield. I mean, the list goes on. George Foreman, Amir Khan. There's many others. If you become an Olympic gold medalist, you're pretty much fast-tracked to a very successful career in boxing. But still, they are the same sport. This is a little bit different, but God bless him. I love his ambition.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Besides mixed martial arts, I don't know what Olympic gold wrestlers. There's, that's really it. You can just go into MMA, and I got honestly, there's not that many. You're not hearing about that many Olympic gold medalist wrestlers competing in mixed martial arts, right? So it's kind of funny. It's not like that's always the desired path of these guys as well. Maybe they move on to whatever they move on to. But I think you did touch onto something, which is like, what my understanding, and I have friends who have been pretty high caliber wrestlers in college. It is the most grueling sport in the world. I did a week of wrestling in my ninth grade, and I was like, fuck this. It was the hardest thing I'd ever trained in my entire life. It was absolutely wild. What, even as a high school, ninth grade, just some random high school. So guys that get to the highest level, I mean, how tough you have to be to compete at that highest level. It's just, in terms of toughness and grit, I think it's built into them inherently. That sport is such a grueling sport.
Oh, yeah.
And then on top of that, being a wrestler, I couldn't imagine in 2021, a young wrestler in his 20s, not at the very least having done a little bit of striking, some pad work, just thinking about MMA. It's all these wrestlers are obsessed with UFC and MMA. They're all really into the sport. It's a very big part of that sort of culture. So I wouldn't be completely surprised if he has, at the very least, a little bit of experience. And if he's that good of an athlete, I mean, I
guarantee he hasn't. He hasn't. Well, I don't know about nothing, but nothing significant. Nothing significant. Yeah, of course. Listen, all guys that want to grow up, if you're highly testosterone fueled, if you're an alpha male, which I'm sure this guy is, and I'm sure he's an incredible wrestler, very strong and drive, everything we said a moment ago. He will have put gloves on at some point and messed around, but still, if you're going to be truly elite, to be a gold medalist at wrestling, you're truly elite, and you've got to be single-minded. So, yeah, I mean, he might have put on a little bit, but he has not dedicated any significant amount of time to anything else other than wrestling. Simple as that. You've got to be single-minded on your quest. That doesn't mean, and I said it, doesn't mean he can't do it, and I'll be very, very interested to see how it all unfolds. But, of course, yeah, no, wrestling's incredibly tough. In fact, Callum, he just got back from London on Monday or Tuesday. 2 weeks, he leaves again. He goes to Bucharest. He goes to Romania.
Cool.
But he's fucking 15 pounds overweight. He's 15 pounds overweight. And yesterday we went on a run. I'm like, son, and I'm trying to give him advice on how to lose the weight. He's like, yeah. I'm like, no. Listen. He's like, yeah, I'm not panicking. I'm like, stop. You should be panicking. You leave in 2 weeks. You're 15 pounds overweight, okay? So, number one, stop dismissing me. Secondly, I'll be paying for that flight. Thirdly, you're not going out there and missing weight. So fucking listen to me. And yes, you need to panic.
Do they have, because I know they changed it years ago in wrestling for college, like, do they weigh in right before they compete? So it's not like a day before or the morning of?
No, yeah.
So he's got to be, his weight's got to be on point. There's no cutting weight for this.
Not really. I mean, you can do a couple of pounds, 2 or 3 pounds, maybe tops. You don't do much more than that. But anyway, another story. And to be honest, when you think of wrestlers as well, I mean, obviously, Henry Cejudo, he springs to mind. He was an Olympic gold medalist. DC, obviously one of the highest level wrestlers we've got in
Askren was gold or silver?
Askren, I think it was silver. Who else we got?
Because what's funny is I put my foot in my mouth because I was about to go, well, you got to figure he's a high-level athlete, Olympic. He could probably learn how to strike pretty quickly. And then I remembered Ben Askren having his head bounce off.
You said guarantee. I guarantee. Ben Askren still doesn't look like he's thrown a punch in his life. And I'm not shitting on Ben Askren, but just go see Jake Paul. Who else we got? MMA wrestlers, high level. Yoel Romero, of course. I think he was a medalist as well. Listen, it's a great background. DC came out yesterday, though, and said he should go down the Hector Lombard? No, he was judo.
Yeah.
Judo. No, DC said he should go down the WWE route, which might be interesting. I think a lot of wrestlers do that. Kurt Angle, amongst many, many others. Be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, he could do it all, man. Why not? Good for him. We'll see what happens. I don't know the guy. I know nothing that he's done. I didn't watch him in the Olympics, so it's not like I'm a fan or whatever. But yeah, when you hear about high-level guys like that wanting to make the transition over to MMA, and also Olympic athlete, gold medalist, just talking about the UFC and talking about mixed martial arts in general shines a very positive light on the sport.
Yeah. Talking of DC, he was all over the news yesterday and the day before because